A very warm welcome to Art Gallery Explorer, the vlog which explores and celebrates the London art scene. Today I'm heading to Sadie Cole's HQ on Berry Street in St James's to explore a combined showing of works by two British art icons, Sarah Lucas and Maggi Hambling. On the surface they are aesthetically very different, but their meeting and friendship is legendary. They share a birthday, the 23rd of October. They met famously at the London Colony Club in the year 2000 and struck up a rich and productive creative friendship. Aesthetically, these artists are incredibly different. Sarah Lucas, 63, is a well-known member of the YBA generation, one of the spikiest members actually, and brought a tabloid aesthetic to London's galleries before producing installation art which fascinated and appalled in equal measure. Hambling is a generation older. She's in her 80s. Most of her work is painting, including generally abstract painting, but she's also very well known for 3 public sculptures of Oscar Wilde, Mary Wollstonecraft, and a giant scallop on the beach in Suffolk. These pair, as I say, for the last quarter of a century have had an incredibly rich artistic conversation. So come and join me as we explore what I'm hoping is a really interesting exhibition, and it's on till the 24th of January and it is free. So we're at Hazlitt Hall and Hibbert, where the main bit of the exhibition, Ooh La La, is. And you can see a classic Sarah Lucas work there in the window. And then if you just literally cross the street, Berry Street this is, in St James's, you can see Sadie Cole's HQ over here. And the second bit, look at that in the window. Looking forward to going in here. We can see Ooh La La, Maggi Hambling, Sarah Lucas on until the 24th of January. Well, I hope you enjoyed that exploration of mainly new works by Maggi Hambling and Sarah Lucas from Sadie Cole HQ. And then Frankie Rossi art at Hazlitt Hall and Hibbert, both in Bury Street, in St James's, just off Piccadilly in London. I'd like to thank deeply both galleries for giving me permission to share these works with you and bring them to you. They were both really welcoming spaces, especially the staff at Hazlitt Hall and Hibbert went above and beyond by printing me out a copy of the works with the titles so that I could accurately name them for you. I really want to thank them for that. And I would say that, you know, lots of people find these blue chip galleries in Mayfair a bit exclusive, and partly because they're often quite empty, but they put on these shows for us art lovers to be able to experience art for free. And so do get along, you know, and make the most of that. It's a wonderful opportunity. Check the opening hours on their websites, which I'll put a link in the description to this video. For me, the revelation of the art was actually really enjoying Sarah Lucas's bunny variations on her bunny series. I've never been a massive fan of Lucas amongst the YBAs compared to some other of that generation. And I did find, if you remember, regular viewers, my review of her retrospective at Tate Britain, that she didn't have that much of a powerful impact on me. And with the bunny series, which is probably her most iconic motif, her most iconic sort of style and series, I've always got the message and understood that, but aesthetically, I found it left me a bit flat. You know, I've always understood that Sarah Lucas is emphasizing the way that society focuses on the highly sexualized parts of women's bodies, breasts, legs, bums, and not often on brains and heads and the personality. I've always got that feminist message because she takes that head away. And so these figures are both hypersexualized and grotesque. But I think it was the fact that they were just on their own. It's sort of like contorted into positions which seem impossible. The way that these newer bunny series works were displayed, just usually one in a room on a sort of cold concrete chair often, was really powerful. I think the last time I saw her bunny series at Tate Britain, as I mentioned, was in a massive room, and it kind of diluted the power. I think the individualizing of it really works. So I love these works, and I think they're getting better with time, I would go as far as to say. I think these ones are really skillful, so thumbs up for that. I did enjoy that a lot. They're obviously a sort of satire on the sort of rather repulsive Playboy bunny phenomenon, but also the humour, which is a part of Sarah Lucas's work as well, really comes through, and these kind of impossible contortions and they're really skillful sculptures, and I really enjoyed them. With Hambling's work, I did enjoy some of it. It's really interesting. I don't know if you find this, but with some abstract art, it can teeter on the edge of great and awful. And with Hambling, I really felt it was teetering on this edge. I enjoyed some of the colours. I really enjoyed this self-portrait where she morphs into a figurative element within the abstract. But some of them did seem a bit too chaotic for me and didn't hang together. So I preferred Lucas's work, but I was really glad to see some new works, especially by Maggi Hambling as well. There's such energy to her works and dynamism, and I love some of the colours. And I suppose the last question, I think, is, does the conversation between these two artists work? Because, as I said, they were friends. They met at the London Colony Rooms Club in Soho in the year 2000, and they live near each other in Suffolk, and there's clearly a continuous artistic dialogue between them. And, you know, what I really got out of this friendship was the dynamism, the constantly trying to push and produce new works. There's clearly links in the works. These works have been chosen because they show their friendship, like Sarah laughing, or Maggie-esque, or the Maggie toilet bowl piece humorously put in the window of Hazlitt Hall and Hibbert. So there is that kind of link there in terms of the naming of the pictures, the fact that they're about each other's artists, they're portraits, if you like, of each other. But also, I think aesthetically, the works had obviously been cleverly chosen and paired and matched to work in terms of colour and style as well.
So I did enjoy seeing them in the same space for that reason as well. And it just shows, doesn't it, the power of artistic friendship, that they keep driving each other on, even though they're so different. Probably the thing I enjoyed the least was the Hambling sculptures. I preferred her abstract paintings. They didn't kind of work for me as well as some. So overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a free experience across 2 gallery spaces, very, very close to each other, as you saw, within very, very easy walking distance. It worked as an exciting reminder of how 2 of our really well-established and well-known artists are still producing interesting work into their 60s, in Lucas's case, and 80s. So I'm very glad I went. Please do post in the comments what you thought about these works, and if you visited, let me know and let us know what your experience was. And also remember to check out my 2 vlogs on Sarah Lucas and Maggi Hambling. I'm going to be putting links at the end of this video, so do click on those if you're interested to see more. And this show's on until the 24th of January. Do check the opening times, because these private galleries are not obviously open as often or as long as the big sort of state-funded galleries. It's a small show. It would not take you more than maybe 40 minutes to enjoy the works in a lot of detail, and you could whiz round it in a lot quicker than that. So do get along there if you can do, and maybe combine it with a visit to the Royal Academy. Thank you ever so much for watching. Joseph Wright is coming next, and then I'm going to bring you another Paris vlog, a really special one actually, which I loved. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.